Although I feel like the competition for Best Leading Actress is stiff, I don't think it is as competitive in Best Supporting Actress. I think that the race is shaping up and it'll be the five that I'm going to name here in a second. There are plenty of names being tossed around. The precursors are all over the place, but I think it's going to come down to superior performances this year. And that's why I find that the five I'm going to name are shoo-ins for nominations. Now, although Zoe Saldana is seemingly the front runner because she is really racking up all of the precursor awards, I don't think she's a shoo-in for the win. I think she has some really stiff competition. In that same breath, I don't think Isabella Rossellini for her role in Conclave is going to get her a nomination. I think that her performance was pivotal, but it's just that performance that was about a couple of minutes. And I just think the rest of the competition, I'll say, just gave more grounding performances that spent a whole lot more time on the screen. Now, although Felicity Jones in The Brutalist wasn't in the entire 3.5 hour movie, the moments she was in the movie stuck. They're emblazoned on my mind. And I think her performance shows how purposeful she was for the entire movie. So we were introduced to her before she was even there. And so when she finally shows up, it's just this spectacular performance that I think solidifies her in this category as getting a nomination. Now, Margaret Qualley hasn't gotten all of the precursors, but I think she's getting more momentum that's going to land her a nomination on Oscar nominations morning. I think Margaret Qualley, for her performance in The Substance, that is very parallel to Demi Moore, who is a shoe-in and a front runner and is likely going to win. I think they complement each other so much that she is going to get a nomination. So far, I've got Zoe Saldana for her performance in Emilia Perez, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, and Margaret Qualley for The Substance. That leaves two spots. And although it might seem like it's tight, I think that these two actresses are getting in. Now, Ariana Grande, of course, she's in a part one. And I went on and on about Cynthia Erivo not getting in because of her part one performance. I mean, I felt like she is not going to get an Oscar nomination for her performance in Wicked. But in the same breath, I feel like Ariana Grande is getting in, and the reason why I've come to terms with that is because Ariana Grande's performance in Wicked is not the catalyst for the rest of the movie. Hers seems more complete, while Cynthia Erivo playing Elphaba, everything she does in this film is a catalyst to part two. So that's why, in one breath, I think like Cynthia Erivo is not going to get a nomination this year, but that Ariana Grande is getting in and is in that fourth slot. Then who's fifth? We've got Monica Barbaro, who did phenomenal in A Complete Unknown. I think that Timothy Chalamet is just taking all of the shine and soaking up all of the shine because he's such a shoe-in for a nomination. I don't think she's a shoe-in. And then honestly, Danielle Deadweiler could come in there for her performance in The Piano. I just don't think it was memorable enough. I think fans of the stage play will love her performance, but the film is just so forgettable. I hate saying that as a huge fan of the Washington Family. I don't think she gets in this year. I don't think it's a snub like Teal, but I don't think she's getting in Best Supporting Actress this year. So what about Selena Gomez? No. Selena Gomez is not getting an Oscar nomination for her performance in Amelia Perez. I don't think I have to go into depth as to why she isn't. I'm just confident she's not going to be getting a nomination this year. If I had my way, Anjanou Ellis Taylor would be in for Nickel Boys. I want her name to be called. I just don't think it will be. Who I think will be in that fifth slot is Jamie Lee Curtis. Now, I know I went on and on about Pam Anderson's performance and that she's not going to get an Oscar nomination this year, but I feel totally different about Jamie Lee Curtis's chances because Jamie Lee Curtis steals every scene. And I think the Oscar baitiest scene that she steals is when she's dancing on that table in that dilapidated casino. The shame on her face that she's still working at her age and that she needs to work and looking like she is doused in liquor. Like that scene stealing performance could not only land her in the fifth slot, but it could win her another Oscar because it is that good and it is that memorable. I think Jamie Lee Curtis is in. I think these five are going to be called on Oscars morning. Zoe Saldana for Emilia Perez, Felicity Jones for The Brutalist, Ariana Grande for Wicked, Margaret Qualley for The Substance, and Jamie Lee Curtis for The Last Showgirl.